Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and DeMar DeRozan. I just got a notification from Bleacher Report saying that the Lakers have an interest in DeMar DeRozan from the San Antonio Spurs. I just want to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about this particular report and what this all means for the Lakers when it comes to improving their roster and, you know, just all the aspects of a potential, I don't know, some sort of trade package that could potentially be in effect if somehow this particular report is true for the Lakers to have interest in DeMar DeRozan. So without further ado, guys, let's just get right into it. So guys, as this report comes in, according to Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer, he basically puts out there that the Los Angeles Lakers have an interest in DeMar DeRozan from the San Antonio Spurs. Now, I find this ironic that I brought up DeMar DeRozan 3 weeks ago in my videos. I'll put the link to that particular video in this video so you guys can check it out. It's probably going to be in the right hand corner, it'll probably pop up, or you can possibly see it at the end of this video. So yeah, DeMar DeRozan, I brought him up because, he has a player option that will make him a free agent. But knowing the Spurs, they basically want to have some sort of assets to basically trade for DeMar DeRozan. And he even puts it out there. I believe it was back in September probably, or maybe it was the 1st of October, that he made it known, and I believe his agent made it known, that DeMar DeRozan wants out of San Antonio. So, it basically shows that he doesn't have a good relationship with the organization and probably Greg Popovich. So it kind of shows that he just wants to go somewhere else where he wants to be happy, I guess. So there was a couple of news cycles that were out there that he maybe wants to go back to Toronto, or possibly he wants to end up back with the back in California in LA. And we all know that he was born in Compton, so and he grew up as a Laker fan and a Kobe fan, so it kind of puts into a kind of a perspective that possibly a trade could potentially happen between the Los Angeles Lakers and the San Antonio Spurs. Now, this still remains to be seen. I know this has been reported, but it kind of puts things into a kind of a perspective of what do the Spurs want in return of DeMar DeRozan. And reading more into this particular report, there has been some talks that some sort of trade package, a blockbuster trade, if you will, that possibly the Lakers could include Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, and maybe possibly a first round pick, or maybe a late first round pick, something like that, for a potential trade for DeMar DeRozan. And that's a possibility. That was something that I was personally looking at when it came to some sort of trade package that the Lakers could do when it comes to acquiring a guy like DeMar DeRozan. And just on a personal note, I probably made a video about this 3 weeks ago, like I said, but DeMar DeRozan has always been in the rumor mill when it came to the Los Angeles Lakers, even back when he was with the Toronto Raptors. So this has been so interesting to hear about when it came to DeMar DeRozan being in the conversations to potentially land with the Los Angeles Lakers throughout the years of his career. And when it comes to this particular report, it kind of puts things into kind of a perspective now that possibly DeMar DeRozan could potentially come and join the Los Angeles Lakers. And personally, guys, I actually like the idea of DeMar DeRozan, joining the Los Angeles Lakers, teaming up with LeBron and Anthony Davis and the rest of the crew. And, it kind of fits well with this particular team. I mean, the guy is well known of being a great scorer. He can obviously shoot. He kind of lacks defensively, but that's something that he can develop when it comes to, the coaching staff from Frank Vogel and Jason Kidd and, Phil Handley and those guys. I mean, those are real easy to develop when it comes to, learning how to play with a team like the Los Angeles Lakers and their system. So that's not something to be worries about, but I like the idea. And plus, when it came to the reports, I believe maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, when it came to Rob Pelinka finding a way to add on a third star to the Los Angeles Lakers alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis, he even mentioned that it's going to be a younger guy. But even though DeMar DeRozan is somewhere around 30 to 31 years old, I don't really think 31 years old players are that old. But that's a little bit of a question when it comes to that particular instance of what Rob Pelinka wants. DeMar DeRozan is one of those type of guys that possibly could be that third star for the Los Angeles Lakers. But there's been multiple reports when it came down to that particular third star. I mean, Rob Pelinka is looking for someone who is young and who could eventually be a guy who can team up with Anthony Davis once LeBron James either retires or somehow, he go play somewhere else. But that's the potential future plans for the Los Angeles Lakers if they were going to find a third star that could potentially work their way to becoming a second star alongside Anthony Davis. And there's been multiple players that were in that conversation. Zach LaVine was in that conversation. Even Buddy Hield was in that conversation as well. So it kind of puts things into kind of a perspective now going into the free agency market and potential trades that could potentially happen when it comes to, either the draft or somehow, in the beginning of the free agency market, that somehow maybe the Lakers could pull off a trade and somehow they can get possibly a third star or maybe just add on some key players that will work well with the Los Angeles Lakers. But to having DeMar DeRozan being in the conversation to be with the Los Angeles Lakers, it kind of becomes a more realistic idea. But it sort of depends on what the trade package that the Spurs wants. I mean, as we already know, it already shows that an ideal trade package is Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, and I believe it was either another player involved or possibly a draft pick, but still remains to be seen about that. And it kind of puts things into kind of a perspective now of how the Lakers are going to be pursuing of DeMar DeRozan with the San Antonio Spurs being in the conversation for that particular trade. So guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel. I really want to know your thoughts and your opinions when it comes to this particular report. There's just been a lot of reports lately when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers and certain players. I made a video about potential free agents that could be coming to the Los Angeles Lakers. I even mentioned some players that the Lakers could bring back. I will leave the link to that particular video in this video, either at the end of this video or it's going to be on top of once it pops up. So I basically talked about all certain needs that the Lakers are going to be looking for when it comes to free agents and what type of improvement that they need to go after when it comes to better shooters, better defenders, and just basically having the notion of them competing for another championship in 2021, going for another repeat, if you will. So by having DeMar DeRozan be in the conversation, it kind of puts things in a better perspective now if somehow the Lakers are going to pursue another championship with more help at the starting lineup with DeMar DeRozan alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron James. But that's something to really look forward to, and possibly it could come true or potentially not. I mean, it still remains to be seen. This is just an interest. It's not anything that could be in effect, but judging by the report by Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer, he's well known for putting out reports that could potentially happen, but sometimes it doesn't. But that's the whole nature of reporting when it comes to certain players having interest in one thing, but sometimes teams and owners don't really work out when it comes to certain deals. But this is something that could be realistic, and I can honestly see that potentially happening. So guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.